Hi there, my name's Tiffany. Let the games begin. Today we are going to be reviewing Museum Heist. May the odds be ever in your favor. Museum Heist is a game of strategy, which we didn't realize the first time we played. So we didn't like it at first, but bear with me. All right, so you have player tokens, they get randomly placed on the board. You have a art piece token. Sometimes I call them relics, sometimes I call them artifacts. My brain doesn't really work all the time. So you have an art piece. It also gets randomly placed. It just has to be one space away from other players. All right, you have swap tokens. You can swap people on the board at any time during the game, which is pretty cool. This game, your goal, if you are playing multiplayer, is to get 3 art piece tokens or 4 if you're playing 2-player. And the first time we played, we kind of just went for the art piece because you can move checkers motion, zigzag, straight. There's lines on the board, makes it really simple and easy to figure out where you can move. The rules are very simple, very straightforward game. There's not really a lot to it, easy for people to learn how to play, so it can make it a really cute group game with a maximum of 4 players. So if you have a small group, it's a great little family game. However, my first thing was placing things randomly is actually really hard. I happen to do things in patterns on accident. It just is how my brain works, and I know it's the same for other people. It's hard to not place the art piece strategically on the board on accident, even though you don't particularly have a person that you're playing as, until you choose a player once the art piece has already been placed. So we ended up tossing the piece on. My suggestion would be to have A, B, through C, D, blah, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, 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 on the other side, so that you could spin a spinner, toss some dice, something that would make it actually random to figure out where to place things. I don't know. For me, that would just be like stress relief. I just need it. Anyway. Okay, so in a 2-player game, when we first played, we didn't think that it was fun because we were just going for the piece, and we didn't realize that there can actually be a lot of fun strategy involved. You can move anybody on the board, even if it's not the player that you selected to be. You just want to be the first one to either get the art piece, or you want to call out one of the other players, and if you're correct, you get the art piece. If you're wrong, you're either out of the round in a multiplayer game, or you lose the art piece to the person that you called out. And if you're the first on there, you get it unless somebody else is that player too, in which case in a 2-player game, if the second person gets it, if there's 3 or more players that got it, then the first person does get it. So not to get too complex on you, but that involved its own level of strategy, which ended up being really fun. And with more players, it was harder to call people out than with 2 players. But with more people, there was a lot more moving elements. So that was, I don't know, it made it fun in its own way. But the game itself, you don't really play the game for the game itself. There's not a lot to it. It depends on who you're with. This game is more about who you're playing it with. So if you like a game, for cool things about it, this might not be the game for you. But if you like games, if you like playing games with people, this can be a really fun game. In the end, we ended up laughing a lot. So while we started out not necessarily loving it, we ended up having a lot of fun calling each other out, giggling about just, how was I wrong again? It was fun.